in the Excel interface. So this will help us be able to maybe understand better when we are seeing our Excel versions, because mine might be latest, and so I encourage us to I'll just use yours so that we can know how best. So once you share your screen, um, yeah, we can see now your screen. So you just go to your search bar down there, type here to search, and search for Excel down there, on the bottom left, bottom left. Click on OK. Click on go to bottom left where it's written. Type here to search, and search there for Microsoft Excel.
Emmanuel,
Yes,
is my screen visible?
your screen is visible. We can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, so go
So
to
I
down.
go to
Yeah, go down there, not on the browser, not on the browser anymore. We're not using the browser anymore. Just go to the bottom left. Down there you'll see somewhere it is written, type here to search. Type here to search.
okay.
Click there. Then type
Yes.
Microsoft Excel. Type Microsoft Excel. Yeah. So open. Click on open.
Emmanuel.
Click open to open the
Yeah.
application. Click open to open the application. Click open to open the application. I think it's taking some
It's a
time.
bit slow.
I think yeah. Maybe
Mm.
your machine is a bit slow because it's not using internet, but it's totally
Is
offline.
Meshach in? He can do that.
Okay, Meshach.
Or is off?
I think Meshach is in. Meshach, I think
Yes, yes.
you can proceed and share your screen, because I can see Sharon's machine is a bit slow, but she will
Okay,
be following along. She will be following along. She will be following along.
okay.
Welcome, Mary. So, Mary Ann, thank you for joining. So, we are just introducing Excel. So, whenever you are, just open your Excel. Meshach, please proceed and share your screen. So, down there now, Meshach, go to type here to search, and now search for Excel. And now for your case, because it's already open, so once you type search for Excel, once you write Excel, you'll just click on open to open the Excel. Maybe you can close all those, Meshach. We advise you close all of those. Just close one by one. Yeah, just there at the top. Yeah. You can save your work if it's useful, so that you don't lose your work.
Pardon?
If your work is useful, you can save it so that you don't lose it once you click don't save.
What about if I open this, then I go to a blank one?
That's okay. Yes, you can go. You can use that format. Yeah, go to File, then click New. Then you click Blank Workbook. So this is this Microsoft Excel, the one we see here in our screen. All of us, ensure you open Excel at your end. Once you open Excel, what you opened here is called an Excel workbook. So up there you will see book 1. Meshach, I'll advise that you mute so that your background is not affecting maybe our
Okay.
our class. I'll advise you mute. Yeah, just down there on your browser, and then click on that meeting, the one with meeting where we are in the meeting. Click it, then click mute. Then click on hide so that you can hide that button down there, the one that is sharing the screen. Just go back to Excel. Yeah, hide it there. And then now go back to Excel. Right. So this is the Microsoft Excel. And so Meshach, you will be moving your cursor to where we will be saying. So at the top, we have the first icon at the top right, top left, very top left. Very top left, the first icon is save. So that icon is used as a shortcut for saving your work. But you can see also there is a shortcut there called Control S. When you hover on save, there is a shortcut called Control S which pops up. No, Meshach, just remain where we are saying. We are saying you still hover on save. You will see a shortcut called Control S. Control plus S. So when you hold Control plus S on your keyboard, it will automatically save your work. Then the next icon is undo. Undo icon is used for you to take an action backward, one action step backward. If you had typed something wrongly or wrongly deleted data in your Excel, you can just click that icon and you will recover your previous data. Next icon is redo, which is not active now because there is nothing that we have typed here yet. However, it also comes with its shortcut. For undo, its shortcut is Control Z. For redo, its shortcut is Control Y. So this shortcuts usually comes in handy when you don't want to every time now navigate and go and find something. The next icon, when you hover on the next icon, you will see some description about that icon. Is just touch or mouse mode, which help you to know where your mouse is in when you're moving around your Excel. The next icon is like a drop, not that one. Next one. So you see the mouse mode is where you can choose if you want your mouse to be like a hand, or do you want your mouse to be in the shape that it is in now. The next now icon that now Meshach is showing you is a customized quick access bar, which now enables you to add more shortcuts at the top of your Excel. So those shortcuts now, it becomes quick in terms of access. If you want to quickly access a printer, you can click on quick print, which will add the printer there at the top. If you want to add some things like open will also come at the top. Maybe Meshach, you can tick maybe new. I definitely tick new. When you click on new has been added there at the top just before the. You can just go to you can even add something else like quick print. You can see those icons have been added there at the top. So this now becomes quick, maybe for the tasks that are repetitive and need you to quickly access them. Down there, maybe let's go to the top, to the further end, right, the far right. So the far right, the first icon that we meet is ribbon display option. This enables you to toggle how you want to view the ribbon display. The ribbon display is the container that holds the file down there to clipboard. So we have clipboard, font, alignment. So all those are called ribbon. That entire from file to view, all those are called a ribbon. So when you click there, you will have a different option on how you want to view this. Sometimes you can hide that ribbon so that you don't see it there. Sometimes you can see other different option on how you can view the ribbon. So when you click on it, it should allow you to auto hide the ribbon, which means that the ribbon will be hiding itself. Show tabs only, so this will only be showing the tabs in the region without showing this more information like cut, copy. So those are options that you can have. But if you wanted to show tabs and commands the way it is all the time, then it's now the last one. Next is minimize icon. Minimize icon, the icon that we see there is used to take away, not even minimize. That one is like go back. It's like a go back. So don't click on it, just hover on it. Meshach, go back to book one. Go back to book one. Meshach, go back to book one. Can you hover on it? Don't click it. That minus symbol. That minus symbol. So when you hover on it, it's called minimize. So when you click on it, it will like go back. It will now show you the other window behind that window. The next window, after that, the next icon, after that, the next icon after that, when you hover on it, is called restore down. So that is usually used when you want to maybe view, like you want to view the minimum, the smaller version of this page. Instead of viewing it in the whole screen, you want to view it in a small window. Maybe Meshach, you can click on it. So when you click on it, you will be able to see a minimized version of your Excel. So let's click on it again. Click on the Excel one so that you can go back. So that one now takes us back. The last one is to close, if you want to close your work. Now, down here, we have file. We have file. So when you click on file, down the far end, down the far end, far right, far left, from where I sit, the far left, you will see file. When you click on file, you will see options. What can you do in Excel under file? So under file, you can get information. You can get new to open a new Excel. When you click on open, you will see the recent file that you've been working on and where you can save your other work, or you can even open other spreadsheets. Maybe someone shared with you via email, you have downloaded it down. So once you download it, you can now open it in Excel without even clicking in the downloads. You can still come to Excel and locate, which we call browse in this case, where you can be able to browse your file. Next is save. Now you can be able to save your work. Once you've worked on something, like in this case, we are working on book one and we are satisfied with what we have done, we can now click on save. Now save will be used for us to be able to save our work. Next is save as. Save as now gives you the privilege of you renaming even your work. If you had already named it with another name, you can still save it even as a copy with another name, so that you can remain with the two copies, the initial one and the last copy that you have just made some edits. Next is print. You can be able to print your Excel data. Share. You can be able to share with people via email, and this will require them to maybe have access to some Microsoft privileges, licensing, for them to be able to open. Export. You can be able to export this Excel to other versions like CSV files and other types like XML, and also publish. We have close. Now we have account, we have options, and some of these other things we'll be looking into them when we'll be now working with Excel hands-on. Let's go back, Meshach, to home. So when now we are at home we can see a lot of shortcuts. If you want more shortcuts here, copy, cut, we'll be working with them, format painter. So we are not going to discuss more of them independently, but we are now going to talk about the case study that we now have, which will guide us on what to do at what particular stage, so that we don't introduce ourselves to all cover everything at once in this session. So just where Meshach is, now that one will take us to our business scenario. So we have a business scenario here, a business case study, and I'll share it in the chat section, here in the chat section, and we'll read it. So Meshach, don't worry when taking your screen back. So a case study, for example, you have ABC Electronics, maybe this is an electronics company or business. So an ABC Electronics is a small electronics retailer with a growing sales team. So the manager needs help tracking sales data and analyzing staff performance. So the manager has tasked us, or tasked you now, to create a basic Excel spreadsheet to track weekly sales data. And so now this one now leads us to the next step of our session. But before then, what are we going to learn now in this session? We're going to learn how to set up a simple sales tracker for retail business. We're going to learn about performing data entry for business transaction. We're going to learn how to apply professional formatting for clarity. I'll share what we are going to learn also in the chat section so that we can have an understanding of what we are going to learn. So this is what we're going to learn in our today's session. So by the end of today's session, we'll have learned a few things there. How to apply professional formatting using basic Excel functions to analyze. That one will come at the end, the last one. So yeah, having said that, now we go back to our Excel. Now what do we need now? What do we need? So what does this business need? This business needs just a simple, reliable spreadsheet to track the weekly sales of their 5 sales employees or sales staff. So I'm going to share the data also that we are going to use to learn in this session. So we want to look at how data entry is very important, how we need to look at the data in whichever format it is. And now for this case, Meshach, just a minute, you allow me, I share my screen so that I give you 5 minutes to do some data entry. So how do you do data entry? So data entry, you'll need to go to, let me show you first. Meshach, please share your screen before I give you a task to just type the columns. Meshach, just share your screen. Meshach, share your screen. Share your screen, Meshach. So we want to go step by step. Just share your screen. So the first thing we want all of us to do is to write the following columns. So how do we write a column in Excel? From the far left, we have now the spreadsheet is now the rows and columns. The columns are labeled as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and the rows are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going downwards. The intersection between a column and a row is called as a cell in Excel. So for example, the active cell in this case is cell A1, and you can see the active cell being mentioned at the top there. You can see A1 is written at the top there, name box. There is where you see the mentioning of your cell. Suppose Meshach highlights cell A1 to cell maybe C3, maybe cell A1 to cell C3. When he highlights that in that order, that one is called as an Excel range, a cell range in Excel. So it's very important for us to differentiate between a cell and a cell range. Very important. Now, so that cell range in this case is now referenced as cell range A1 to cell range C3. So you start with the top left to the bottom right. Top left to the bottom right. And this is usually separated with the full colon. So it will be A1 full colon C3. This is how we reference to that range. if you want to write the column names now, for this case, we want to learn about data entry. Data entry is where we get data to our Excel by typing it by ourselves. Without even importing first data from maybe other sources to Excel, we can do data entry. And that's what we want to start by doing. The first thing we want to do, I want us to create a first column known as salesperson. Type as in cell A1, now we are talking about the Excel language. In cell A1, type salesperson without leaving space, one word, capital S. So Excel is also good to differentiate. Sometimes if you leave spaces between columns, you might be looking for something, but in real sense you left space, and so it becomes challenging. That's how we write our first column in Excel. The next column, we are going to call it product. We're going to call it product. We're going to call it product, which is column now B1. So you go to cell B1, column B, but it's called cell B1. So you click cell B1 to make it active. First you click cell B1, no Meshach, just select, not just click cell B1. Don't highlight the columns, but just click in the cell B1. So the cell B1, once it is active, you can now type there, product. Type their product, type their product, type their product. Hope everyone is doing this, because we will ask you to share your screen very shortly so that we can see, so that we can proceed also with you. So once you have product, we go to unit sold. So unit sold in the cell C1, put units sold. Cell C1, put units sold. Then we proceed to unit price. Unit price is the fourth column. We call it D1. We'll have unit price. So we are talking about a business scenario where the manager wants to track the performance of the organization coming from the 5 sales team. And so we are going to take note of the salesperson, the name of the salesperson. We are going to talk about the product they are selling, and we are going to look at the number of units of that product they have sold. We are going to look at the unit price of that product, and then now we are now going to talk about the date they sold the product. So Meshach, the last column should be date. And now for the uniformity of our data, our column naming, for the first letter, we need to make it an uppercase. The first letter, we need to make it uppercase across all our columns. So ensure that the first letter is an uppercase. First letter is an uppercase. All right. Now we have 5 columns here in this case. However, we are going to learn something after this that we are going to use to add other columns as well, that we call calculated columns. So before going there, let's now learn how we can do some entries in our data. I want us to make an entry for the first person, but in this case, we are just going to do, we call it data entry by hand. So the first salesperson's name is John, and the first salesperson is John. What did John sell? John sold a laptop. Laptop is the product. So I'm sharing some of these things in the chat section for those who are following. So John, then the first name, John is the first salesperson. He sold a laptop, so capital L. The units sold that John sold are 3. So Meshach, type there laptop, unit sold 3. And then unit sold 3. And then what is the unit price? So unit price talks about how much was each laptop costing. Is now $600. And now because this is amount, just write 600 and then we will see how we can put the dollars using Excel so that we can have dollars without typing the dollar symbol. Yes, and then now the date. The date is the 1st of June. Let's talk about the 1st of June 2025. Not 1st of June, but 1st of May. Let's talk about 1st of May. The date is 1st of May. 1st of May 2025. So it is 1/5/2025. Just something like that. Just type that. We'll see how that goes around. So that type of entry in Excel is called entry by hand, data entry by hand. And this looks more time consuming sometimes, but is also useful. Now, we have done this, but we want to learn about something else again. We want to learn about something else again. How to enter data using a form. And then lastly, we'll talk about how to minimize this time with now kind of data validation. So how do we enter data with a form in Excel? That's what we want to learn next. Is there a question first here before we go to the next step of entering data with a form so that we can enter other entries? Maybe much quicker, and not that quicker, but at least much quicker. Is there a question? Mariam, can you say hi to us? Mary Ann? Are we together? Maybe you can even confirm with the thumbs up if you're somewhere you cannot unmute so that you can know that we are together. Same to Sharon. So Sharon, what we are doing data entry. And the data entry that we are doing now is to create an Excel. We're creating an Excel workbook. So we opened a blank Excel. After opening a blank Excel, we are now putting columns of the table. Suppose you have a data in a table and you want to put this data now in columns. Now that's what we are doing. And now once we have the columns, now we start now making entries. So we have just made our first entry and we want to see different ways of making data, entering data in Excel. So Marianne, I think your hand was up. You can proceed and maybe ask your question if you have. Or was a reaction? Marianne, are we together? Marianne, are we together? Okay. So we'll proceed. I think your hand up was maybe a reaction that we are together. So we'll proceed. Now, Marianne, if we are together, we would like to ask that you share your screen. Meshach, maybe you stop sharing. We allow Marianne to share her screen. And then we now want to do a particular settings in Excel. We are going to guide you, Marianne, what you're going to do so that you can enable forms in your Excel so that we can use the forms to enter data in Excel. So Meshach can stop sharing. Right. Marianne? So our classes are usually practical and hands-on. So if you join, ensure you join with your laptop, knowing that you will be sharing your screen, because we'll be asking you to share your screen and we guide you. And maybe I'll ask now Sharon. Sharon, are you there? Is your machine now
I'm
okay?
here.
Is your machine now okay? Is your machine now okay for sharing? Meshach, sorry for disturbing you. So please proceed and help us. Just share your screen. I think we'll just use yours now throughout so that I think Mariam also shared with me on WhatsApp that she's not using her laptop. So next time, let's maybe try and just ensure that we are joining with our laptops. So now, Meshach, go back to Excel where we were. Now, what we want to do, you will also be required to do it on your Excels so that now you don't experience any challenges, maybe telling us that you can't see what we are what we are doing because you might not get it in your Excel already. So you'll be required to enable it. So now, Meshach, go to File. So there's a setting we wanted to do to enable data entry with form. So you click on File, go to Options down there, go to Options. So Options down there allows you to have a look at what you want to work with. Maybe now, Meshach, here go to customize quick access bar, quick access toolbar. Click on quick access toolbar on your general. This first, the other side, this other side. No, not there. Yeah, that's space. Go to quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar. Click there. So when you go to quick access toolbar, here is where we customize what we want to see at the top there. If some, you see these ones are what we have already. You can see save, undo, redo. Only those ones are the one we have. But now we want to add there something we call a form. A form that will enable us enter data in Excel as if we are on a system. And this might maybe kind of make our work quicker in terms of entry. But now with the support of data validation, we'll see that shortly, how data entry can be minimized, especially when you have a list of your products and maybe you know the salesperson and you just want to save your time without repeatedly doing that. Maybe, for example, you have column like gender, where you know actually this is male and female. So Meshach, what you'll do, go to choose commands from. You can see there at the top, customize and quick access bar. Down there is choose command from. Click on popular, that drop down, popular commands drop down there, and click on all commands. Select all commands. So that one will bring all commands that we have in Excel. And now down there is where you look for forms. So it's arranged alphabetically. So scroll down to forms. Scroll down to forms. Scroll down to forms. Forms, down a little bit down. And once you reach to forms, you will click on form and you click on add. Scroll down a little bit. Oh, I don't know, I think something is, yeah. So once you locate forms, click on it and click on add. Click on it and click on add. You already have on this, so it seems you already added it. If you double click on it, it will be added. So it has been added already. So when you click again, it's like you're doing double work. So just click OK. So you have already taken it to this side. So for those who will be doing that, you will click on your form and click on add. It will be taken this side. So you don't have to repeat taking it. And so it's already there. So click on OK. It has now been moved there. You click on OK. We just said that once you clicked on form and click on add, or double clicking on form will take the form to the other side. So once you take the form to the other side, you cannot take it again to the same side because it will be already existing. So it will tell you that it already exists. So just click OK down there. Down there you have OK button. Click on OK down there. Yes, that one. And you can see at the top there on your quick access bar icons, we have now form icon. The last icon that we have added. When you hover on it, you will see it called form. Once you click on it, at first it will pop, it will bring a dialog box to ask you, just click OK. Don't even consider this can't be applied to the selected range. So first click on A2. Remember your active cell is or something down here, which is not in the range of. So what we usually do with the forms is where you are clicking is where you want your data to be entered. So there is where you are supposed to click, and then you click on form. But if you have your active cell far away from the range, then it will bring an error alert that that range that you have selected is not correct. So just click on that form now that you have moved there. So once you click on it, you will see that it is telling you that in that row, we have someone called John, because that is the active cell that you selected. But click on new. When you click on new, click on new. So when you click on new, it will give you a blank cells for you to do the entry. So you can write there the next salesperson is called Mary. Mary is the next salesperson, and he sold the phone. He sold the phone. Mary sold the phone. So you just type there Mary phone. Product is phone, not for. Meshach. The product is phone, mobile phone. So phone. And then units sold 5. And each was being sold at $300. So it's 300. And the date of doing this is also the same date, which is the 1st of May 2025. 1st of May 2025. So once you provide, what does this form require? This form requires you to first provide the columns. Once you provide the columns, you can now utilize the form. Without the columns, you cannot utilize the form. Once you have done filling that, you just click on, you can click on new again. So you see when you click on new, it has submitted your entry. You can see down there your entry has been submitted, and you can now add someone else. And now to enter, let's enter someone else. The next person is Ali. And Ali sold tablets. Next person is Ali. Ali sold the tablet, and each tablet that Ali sold it at 250. Sold two tablets at 250 each. 2 tablets at 250 each. And the date is the 2nd of May 2025. 2nd of May 2025. All right. So you click on, so can you click on find next, find previous? So new is used for you to submit your entry and return a blank page. Find previous, click on find previous to help you return the previous, just the previous entry you have submitted. If you made a wrong entry, you can still update here and click on new, and it will be able to be submitted. So you can even edit your responses and then resubmit them back. So they will just update. So the entry will just be updated to like you have edited. And now we have done these 3 entries using our forms. We want to go to the last part, which is now using kind of data validation, and create some lists and see how lists work. Is there a question on forms before we leave forms? So forms are useful where you want to, like something like a form, where you can be able to enter things faster. So you enter things like you are entering in a system. So you just type. When you press enter, it submits. When you click on tab, it opens a new, it now moves from the salesperson to product while clicking tab. Those ones are shortcuts. When you press enter, it submits. Can you press enter? Press enter. So enter submits the response. If you have a new response again, you type. Once you type, for example, salesperson, you click on tab. Can you click on tab? Tab is used to navigate from salesperson to product to Unisold. Those are shortcuts for navigation. And once you make your entries, you can now click on new for them to be submitted. If you want to make some edits, you click on find previous. So I think this is useful. We use it in data entry, and you can also make it into practice. Let's now go to the data validation part, and then we'll now go to the business scenario where we'll be trying to do some small analysis about these entries that we have just done. So the next thing we want to do is now to set the data validations, which will help us in data entry. First, what you need to do, you need to ensure that the cell reference that you are having is on where you want the impact to be. For our case, our cell reference currently is in A2. We need it to be in A5, where we want to apply the data validations. So you click on A5. Once you click on A5, now you can go to the data tab. So you move from home tab to data tab. Once you come to the data tab, you will locate in the data tools. In the data tools ribbon, you will see things like text to column, flash fill, remove duplicate, data validation, manage data models, consolidate, all that, and look for data validation. Once you are in the data validation, you click on the data validation drop down. That drop down will list the data validation, cycle invalid data, clear validation cycles. So you click on data validation, the first one on the drop down. So you click on it. Once you click on it, here is where now we want to set some things, colleagues. So maybe I'll ask for your attention. So once we open this data validation dialog, we'll see something called settings. In the settings, you will see somewhere called validation criteria. As per now, that cell allows you to enter anything. But because you see there, allow any value. For us now, we want to create a list where, for example, we know our salesperson are 5. Instead of us keeping on typing John, Mary, Ali, who, and so, we want to provide a drop-down list where when someone goes there, just click on the drop-down and select the salesperson without struggle. So you look for a list in that range, in that list. You click on a list. Once you click on a list, you click on source. Once you click on a list, you click in the space below source. So the space below source allows you to put the list of the things now that will be shown on the list. In our case, we have 5 sales personnel. Our 5 sales personnel are John. So you'll type John, capital J, John, Mary, Ali, Susan, Peter. Peter. Right? Then once you are done with your list, you click on OK. So click on OK. You see there is a button that has appeared now on that A5 cell. That button now shows you the list of people, the list that you have created for your sales personnel. So if you know that I have 5 personnel, you can have them there. I have 10 personnel, I can have them there. If you know the department that you're working in, if you're doing data entry for departments in a particular organization, in a particular institution, in a particular whatever, can be even the list of products that you sell in an organization or something. So it is now very useful and is now upon you to be creative. Now, we will repeat this but with products. If you have not grasped how we do this, we'll repeat this but now on products. Now, I want Meshach to click on just any cell outside that drop down. Just click anywhere. Can you go to cell A6? Go to cell A6. So cell A6 has no this effect, but we need this effect to up to cell A6. How are we going to do that? We are not again going back to data validation, providing the list also there. There's a shortcut that we can use to apply the effect that we have caused on cell A5 to also be applied on cell A6. So click on cell A5 again. So for you to do that, just click on cell A5 once, go to the bottom right corner. It's called the bottom right corner until you see a plus symbol. Once you see a plus symbol, you now just drag. So if it's left click on your laptop or your mouse, just drag. That effect will be applied to up to where you want. You can even drag up to cell 10 and that effect will be made up to the 10th row. So that effect will be applied by just dragging that effect. So when you go there, you will see your list. So let's go now to cell A5 Meshach, cell A5, and now select Susan. Susan is the fourth person. The fourth person. So Susan is the fourth person. So click on the drop down, click on Susan. Now we go to product. As we go to product, we want to repeat again, creating categories. If we know all our products, and there is not that very long list, but it's good to have them as a list because it will help you minimize typo errors in your entries. Even space is a typo error where space is not needed. Because when you tend to look for that product in the entire data, let's say it's like 10,000 entries, it will not be easier for you to know which particular value had that space. To minimize that, we usually use data validation. So let's now go to the product and now put this. But before products, let's go to gender. I want us to insert a column in between A and B. How will we learn how to enter a column? Suppose you forgot a column. So you go to column B, then right click, you go to column B, right click, click on insert. So insert will definitely insert a column to the left. That's how we insert, and now moves your entries to the cell C, column C, the column C. And so we are creating there a column known as gender. And now this gender, we want to also create for it data validation right from the top. Instead of again typing male, female, we also create data validation for it. So Meshach, you will go to cell B2, which is the second row, and now go to data validation. Cell B2, go to data, then data validation. And again, we create a list of male and female. So we'll just click on settings, any value, change it to list, and then you put the source is male, male, capital M, comma, female, capital F, female. Then click on OK. You have created another validation for gender. Drag that to apply to up to cell A6. Drag that to apply up to cell A6. And now select gender. Select male. John is male, Mary is female. You see now it saves you time instead of typing every time male, female, typing male, female. You can create this and enjoy your data entry without struggle. Ali is male, Susan is female. And now let's go to the products But now for products in this case, we are not going now to put them into any data validation. We have learned data validation. Data validation is very important for the things that are category, things that have end. If there are things that do not have end, don't use data validation because it will not allow you to type something where it's not supposed to be. Suppose you create a list that you are only selling laptop, phone, and tablet, and then later on, you start selling things like maybe other things. In this our case, we are only selling maybe phone, laptops, and tablets. And now suppose you want to sell other products that are not the one that you listed, then you'll have a problem. You need to update your data validation rules so that you can be able to allow that entry, or else it will be flagged as not in the range. So now Meshach, now that we're only selling 3 products, I'll just like us to create the last list so that my team, our colleagues can now know that this is how we create really a data entry list. So you click on any value, click on list, and then source. Now type there laptop, phone, tablet. So it's tablet and not tablets. So just write tablet. I can see you had an S in your previous entry, so we'll correct that later. Just delete that. Just delete that. Just type there tablet. Then you'll correct that later. Then you'll click on OK. Click on OK. Apply that to up to cell A6. Yeah, you'll change that. So apply that to cell A6. Now, we have seen this. Suppose someone comes here and starts typing in cell C5 tablet. Can you type there tablet? Tablets, not tablet. Tablets. Just type there tablets with an S. Tablets with an S. Press enter. So you get an error. This error helps in data validation. It is telling you this value does not match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. It will ask you to retry or cancel the entire process. This is the good thing with the data validation. It helps your work be easier, and even someone else who is coming after you can still be able to have a story to tell. You see? So this one becomes very handy. So click on cancel. So when you click on cancel, you see it doesn't accept that nonsense at all. Very, very useful. Now, suppose we want someone to get a notification, but that one will do for prices maybe. Yeah, we'll do for prices. Yeah, for prices maybe. And yeah, or maybe we'll do for units sold so that we can restrict. Maybe someone cannot sell past particular number of units. So let's say for Susan is selling what? Let me check. Susan is selling a phone. So select phone. Okay. Next is unit sold. So the unit sold for Susan, we want to create a restriction that now a salesperson cannot sell above 10 items in a day. So we want to set that. And again, to set that, we have to go to data validation. So you go to data, you go to data validation, you click on the drop down. You need to ensure that your cell is active. Click on it, data validation, click on data validation. And then any value there, allow any value, click on that drop down. Once you click on that drop down, you will say allow whole number. Click on whole number, click on whole number, and then it will ask you between. So between here, we can say, maybe let's say someone is not allowed to sell nothing. You must sell something. So you cannot enter 0. Let's say you enter 1. So minimum is 1. Minimum is 1. Maximum is 10 units. You cannot sell above 10 units a day. Next, before you click OK, please take us slow. Before you click OK, you go to input message. Now this time we are adding something called input message. Suppose someone else comes to do data entry when you are not there, but they don't know that, oh, you are not supposed to make sales below 10 or like above 10, or you can't make an entry below, like a negative entry, you see, will not be allowed. So you go to click on input message, click on input message. Under input message here, this is the message that will be shown when someone hovers on that cell. Hovering is like moving your cursor around that cell. Someone will get a pop-up message telling that person, you know what, your entries must be in this range, must be between 1 and 10. So you have to put a title. So title there, put a title, and right there, input information. You can just put information. Just don't even say input. Just write information as a title. This will be like a title that when you hover on this particular cell, you will be able to see the information that you'll be able to see. Then under input message there, input message, type your input must be between 1 and 10. 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 Your input must be between 1 and 10. Your input must be between 1 and 10. So that is like information. And then suppose now someone again ignores this rule. Suppose someone ignores this notification. What information do you want this person to get? So you go to the error alert. So suppose someone enters this and you want this person to stop. When you click on style there, the drop down for stop, there is information, there is warning. It depends with the criticality of the cell that someone wants to alter. I know this is our first day of learning Excel, but you can see how intense it is. But it's very interesting. It's good to learn how these work, even at the very, very early sessions. And this will help you a lot. So when it comes to stop, this means that this person will not be able to even make the submission of this entry. You see, we have some restrictions that someone gets a warning, but allows the person to submit with the error. But suppose you want someone to stop and stop and stop. Now that is when you use stop. Very critical things like maybe salary, maybe financial matters. You see? So that's where you use stop. If you just want someone to get information, like you are still insisting that you guy, we are saying the entry must be between 1 and 10. But still allow this person to enter something like 12. But at least you warned him again. That's what we call either warning or information. So this one allows you to, it's light warning, but stop is totally blocks you from making entry. So let's maybe use warning. Let's use information first. Use information, click on information. And then it's title. Title is invalid entry. Invalid entry. Invalid entry. Your input must be between 1 and 10. Or you can say even read the input, read the information message, but just write your input must be. Just insist still with the same message that is the other side. Your input must be between your input must be between 1 and 10. Your input must be between 1 and 10. Your input must be between 1 and 10. And you click on OK. Now here you click on OK. And you can see The information is already there. When someone in that cell wants to type something, can see the information. The information is telling this person your input must be between 1 and 10. Suppose someone now insists on typing something like 0 or -1 or 12. What will be the information this person will be told? So that is where now the error alert comes in. Error alert is telling you your input must be between 1 and 10, but you are still clicking OK. It will allow you to proceed. Like click OK. It's just slight on you. But when you are talking about stop is like doesn't allow this person to enter value that is not in that particular range. Information is just like for your information. Remember you are doing this, but for your information, your input should not be less than that range. So very useful, very useful. Now, let's go to unit price. Maybe unit price we will use maybe some stop. And maybe let's say our products, their pricing ranges between $100 to $1,000. And now we want to set that here, and we want to set here, and let's go to data validation. And now again, so you go to the cell where you want to make the effect, go to data validation, click on the data validation, go to settings, ensure you go back to settings, click on any value, then click on whole number. That is if you have dollars, but if you allow decimals, you can click on decimals. Minimum value, write 100. Maximum value, write 1,000. So these ones we are talking about dollars. And you go to input message. So if you have input message again, you put the input message. So that one in Meshack you can type even without us telling you. And now you understand. So you can still use title as information. Just someone to be aware of what you expect. So someone needs to be aware of what is expected. And then go to error alert. So error alert here, we are going to use stop because this might be very critical. So this must be a stop. And now we can write here maybe error message, invalid input, refer to information. Invalid input, refer to information. Invalid input, refer to information. You can write anything you want. You can write anything you want. So refer to information. Invalid input, refer to information. Then you click OK. So suppose someone comes behind and tries to write something that is not in that range, will not be allowed to make that entry. That entry will not be a success. It will tell the person, invalid input, refer to the information. You see? When you click on retry, it will not allow you. It will not allow you. You will have to retry and retry, but it will not allow you to escape until you make an entry that is between that range. So just click on retry and then update. If you click on cancel, it jumps. It doesn't allow you to have something that is not in that range. And the date for this cell is on 3rd of May 2025. 3rd of May 2025. I believe we have learned something. Press enter. We have learned something. Is there any questions before we go to the final parts of our session today? Yes, Meshach. Yes, Meshach.
Whatever we are doing
Yes.
from our end.
Yes.
So what about whoever is filling, maybe for the purposes of sales or a business, whoever
Yes.
is doing these
Yes.
entries,
Yes.
uh, yeye pia anajaza to the same Excel sheet.
Yes. So the person who is going to fill the Excel sheet, you can share this is like you are developing a template. Remember, you are developing a template for your salesperson. And or you have someone who is making entries. You see? So you develop a template for this person. Once you develop a template for this person, the role of this person will be making the entries. You see? So what we are doing is just improving on data accuracy. Data accuracy, data consistency. Remember, mtu anaweza enda kujaza pale the unit product na aweke instead of kuandika 1000 aeke 100,000 asahau, ama 10,000 aongeze 0 moja, or someone meant $100, but the person messes and writes $1,000 instead of $100. So we are trying to reason out how can we restrict this kind of entry errors. These errors are very helpful. Maybe might be an error from understanding or an error by ignorance. So we are trying to minimize this. Let this be just out of ignorance, but not about lack of information. So you develop this template, and you can even it can even be totally blank, and share with who is supposed to help you fill this data. And now make their work easier. They use drop downs, they enjoy, and things populate the entire workbook. So we can even link sheets with another sheet as uh, as uh, as time goes by. As we are learning Excel, we'll see how we can link another sheet and be able to populate things. So Meshach, the template is developed by you as a profession. You can even develop for yourself. You can even forget. So you develop even for yourself if you are the one who will be in charge of even the data entry. This will save your time in data entry. Hope I have answered your question.
Okay, thank you. So maybe why I was asking this,
Yes.
according to the maybe the validation part of it, how we are improving it. Maybe you can have an access and even change whatever you are trying to do. For example, let me just share this and when you say tumeweka hapa the
Yes.
maximum
Yes.
mtu anafaa kuuza between 1 to 10.
Yes.
Na yeye atoe maybe from 1 to 10 to maybe 1 to 15 without your information because ako na access.
Yes. So that one, you can always, you see, you can always be checking on your internal systems, your internal settings, definitely. After some time, you need to check, but you need to check unless it is but again, why should you have such a kind of a person in your organization? But anyway, what you are saying is okay. But I'm just trying to reason like you are the one developed the settings, but again, someone is breaking by again resetting your settings. Now you see that one is like if you get such kind of a person is like a criminal in an organization. Why is that person there at first? So that one is not supposed to happen. But suppose it happens, you need to consistently doesn't mean that once you set that validation, that is the end of it. Later on, after some time, you will need to make some settings. This now is where conditional formatting comes in. Conditional formatting comes in handy. Why? Whenever an entry surpasses a particular kind of a value, format it in a particular color. We are going to learn about conditional formatting in the coming sessions. So some sessions will be building on top of others. And remind me to show you that. Where when someone, suppose we limited the entries to be between 0 and 10, And you can even go to conditional formatting and put a color. So apart from just someone making the rules, changing the rules in the data validation, this person again will be forced to go and change the rules in the conditional formatting. Where when a submission happens to be out of the range, it's flagged by a particular color. It's flagged by a particular color. So that one now helps a lot. So unless tena mtu aende kule kwa your conditional formatting to alter your settings, but we are doing this with good what with good faith in good faith, Meshach. So it's not that uh, it's like you're fighting with someone who is helping you do the entries, but you're just doing this to minimize those errors. These people need information. So you are providing information. They need to be aware. But if they alter, then that's a different case. They alter the settings. That's a different case. But they need information. I think I'm clear. Mesha. Okay, thank you. Another question, Sharon. How is the session? Sharon, can you hear me?
The session is good.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Marianne, you can even text in the chat section if you are unable to unmute. But Susie, you've joined us a little bit late, and I believe you have missed a lot. But I will share the recording so that you can be able to catch up. So I understand. Sometimes you had told me you were traveling. I understand. So you'll just catch up on the recording, and I think that will be a plus. But welcome. Our session has been very engaging, very interesting stuff. So you just met us in the middle of this. Now, Marianne, you can maybe unmute and maybe tell us how you feel about the session. And if you are not able, you can use the chat section in this wall. That will be okay. So as we proceed. Now, let's now go to, now we have helped. This is just a simple, very simple entry platform where we can now, instead of typing every time John, Mary, we can click on the drop down. For example, the number 6, we can A6, we can click on the drop down, select Peter is the salesperson who made sales. The gender of Peter is male. Which product did Peter sell? You select the product that Peter sold. You go to the unit sold. Unit sold, you type and should be in a particular range. You go to the units per price, unit price. You also type there, should be a particular range. And then you provide the date for this. This can help. But this is just a beginning. You need to be calculating sales by each. After a certain period of time, you need to automate the processes. Whenever they update here, there's another sheet that is picking up the sales for each. You see, again, segregate the sales by let's say segregate the sales by gender. Know if women are selling than men. Depends with which products you are selling. Does it have an effect? So that's where now the analysis will come in later with other softwares that will help you understand if there is any association between, we call it association between cells and gender, or cells with maybe product, maybe which product is going quicker than the other. And you'll be able to know, is there a difference? Is there a significant difference? We call it significant statistical difference. So we'll be learning that in the coming sessions with the other softwares, but we'll be referring to some of these case studies. That's why it's the best to learn with the case studies than learning just by bit by bit. So let's now proceed, Meshach, and go to our final part of this session where we are going to look at a few functions that can help us get some things done there. So having said that, the last part of our session, we want to find the total sales. We want to find the total sales per transaction. So we want to find the total sales. In short, we want to find the total sales. So for us to find the total sales, we want to find the total sales. Remember, we have sales per unit sold, colleagues. We have unit sold, we have the price. We don't have the amount. We have the price of each unit. Kama umefanya ile hesabu kidogo, for example, you go to a shop and you are told this laptop is costing this is $600. So we need to show that this is a dollar. So you call Meshach, select column E, click on column E at the top, click E, then go to home. Then under home, under numbers bracket that has numbers, you can see clipboard, font, alignment, numbers. Under numbers, there is general. So click on the drop down that is there under general and click on currency. Click on currency. So when you click on currency, yours is already detecting that your currency is in Kenya shillings. But let's click on currency again. Currency. And let's go to more formats. More number formats. Click on currency there now, and now we can see the decimal place is 2 and the symbols. There's a drop down now this far end after Kenya shillings. Under symbols, there's a drop down there, and you can see, can you look for USD? A symbol for dollar sign. I think it's under US or something. There's an English, something on English. I think it was English, then it's United States. So you can just scroll here at the top, especially at the top sections. You'll see go down. Yeah, that one. No, not that one. Next. That one. US. Yes. Click on it. United States, and then you click on OK. Yeah. So now we have our pricing in units. It is in dollars, and it has decimal place. 2 decimal places is usually recommended for financials. And now we can now proceed and now find the amount. So suppose we want to know how much did John pay, or no, what did John sell? How much did John sell? Per product is 600, but he sold 3 products. So we need to create a column known as amount. So you'll click on F, column F, which is date, and click on right click and click on insert. Right click on insert to insert a new column. And then now at the top there, cell F1, we are referencing to a cell by calling it cell name. Cell F1, we are going to call it amount. So amount is given by a multiplication between the number of units sold times the price. So click on equal symbol. For you to write a function or a formula in Excel, you need to use an equal symbol. So you click on equal symbol. Then click on cell D2. Click on cell D2 where unit sold is for John. Click on cell D2. And then click on the asterisk, which is the multiplication symbol on your laptop. Asterisk, in most cases, is usually on number 8. So you hold the shift and then you press on the asterisk on your laptop. It depends with the keyboard you are using anyway. And then you click on E2, which now multiplies the number of units sold with the price, E2. And then press on enter. So Excel now calculates for you the amount that John paid. So if you want to get the price, the amount for Mary, Ali, Susan, you just go click on the cell where we have the amount, make it active, and drag the way we dragged the effects that we had in the other data validation. So you click on the amount at the bottom right corner, you hover on it and you will see a plus. You will see a plus symbol. You will see a plus symbol and then you'll drag. So for Susan sold how many units? Susan sold 4 units. Susan sold 4 units. So update that so that we don't have 0. So press enter. So it will automatically update. So if you update here, it automatically updates. So suppose you drag this down to up to cell 10, row 10, not cell 10, but row 10. You will see 0, 0, 0, 0 because the column, those columns are 0. But when you put values, for example, in row 6, when you put value in amount of units sold, when you put value in units sold and put value in the unit price, it will automatically calculate the revenue. It will automatically calculate the revenue for you. Just press enter, it will automatically calculate the revenue for you. So you'll have automated everything downwards. So you'll not again repeat writing the functions. Okay. Now that we know the units sold for each, the amount for each salesperson, we want to know now the total sales. How do we get the total sales? Now, the total sales, I want us to measure. I want you to go to column K2. 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 Type there total sales. Type there total sales. Leave some space between total and sales. Leave some space between total and sales. Press enter. Now go to press enter. Go to cell L2. Go to cell L2. Go to cell L2. In cell L2, type equal to. Type equal to. So we are going to use a sum function in Excel, which is the same function that we use in Google Sheets to calculate the sum of the amount that we have for all these employees, all this sales staff. So you click on equal to, type sum. Click on equal to, type sum. Open the bracket. You can see when sum is there in the drop down. You can click on the sum. It will open the bracket for you. It is asking for the number 1, number 2, number 3. So sometimes you can specify the numbers of the cells themselves. Like you can say F2, F3, if you have specific cells you want to add. But if you want to add everything, what we usually say, the easiest way is to provide the range. So there is where now cell range comes in. How do you provide cell range? We said, for in this case, we want F2 to F5. So how do we provide F range? You type F2 full colon F5. Mecha, can you do that? F2 full colon F5. And then you close your parentheses. And you can see it is highlighted the other end. You can see the other end is highlighted. So that's the first option. You press on enter and you will have, these are the sales that company has from these 4 employees. Suppose you want another way, but now this one, now you just, if you want to sum down there, just down immediately after Susan. If you want to sum just after Susan, then you can delete what you have there. You can delete the entries you have there. Highlight, right click, highlight and right click. Highlight everything, right click. No, highlight what you want to delete, not everything. What you want to delete, right click, click on clear content. Clear content. Okay. Now go to cell F6. Suppose you want to show this total on cell F6, click on F6. Go to auto sum. At the top from home, there is an auto sum icon. that auto sum, when you click on it, click on auto sum, just click on auto sum. It will automatically select for you what you want to add. So you go to immediately down there and you want to add that. So just click on auto sum, press enter. It will automatically also give you the sum. So that's how you can be able to do these things faster, and the easiest approach that you can have in summing these things. So up to there, is there a question on this? But in the coming sessions, we are going to maybe build on top of this with some other functions like finding the average, and maybe have more data. Now, assignment. You cannot leave my class without an assignment. So, is there any question first before we leave? So that you can also go and practice, make your entries, and yeah, apply at least this, and even something that we have not trained you can also apply. So suppose you want to create this as a table, this your entry as a table, Meshach, before you ask your question. So suppose you want to create these things as a table, you go to anywhere inside the data range. So you go to somewhere like D5, somewhere like A3, anywhere where there is data. Go to anywhere where there is data, click there. Now go to format table as. So we will learn about this. So we're just doing it for the purposes of just learning. So go to format table as, under home, format table as, and then click a design that you want so that it can design your work. And then you click OK. Ensure that you check that your table has headers so that the headers can be highlighted. Then you click on OK, and that's your table you wanted. But you still have an option there to switch between the tables at the top. Style table, not there. At the top, design. You can see there is design. Then at the top right, click anywhere in the table first. Click anywhere in your table. The design is back. You can see still at the top there, at the top right. Somewhere top right there, there is still those rows. So you can still click on the lower drop down. There's drop downs there which can allow you to view more. And you can still switch to other designs that you feel that are good with your data. And now you can format your entries in a table. And now this will be recognized as a table and some things like that. So Meshach, you can ask your question as we conclude.
Yes, according to the data that we have here, that we have populated, can you share maybe like when we're talking about how we can insert data in Excel? Can we like share a Google form with a person that maybe if John, these sales people, they have their own Google forms where they are inserting this data so that this data can populate here and you get the total maybe for just tracking without you even doing anything. You just set everything, set the functions and send them the Google form so that the data can populate here.
So Excel doesn't directly integrate with Google Forms. So we'll advise you to use Google Sheets for doing the same thing. So Google Sheets is just the same thing. You will learn about Google Sheets. I think the bit that we didn't dive deeper is on functions, which you are going to balance between the Excel and Google Sheets because they are the same functions. So we advise for you to use things like Google Forms, you integrate with Google Sheets because those ones are Google products. They integrate with each other. For Excel, it is possible, but you have to use the Excel Online, which requires you to have some purchase licensing. For Google Sheet, it's free. You can use Google Forms, Google Sheets. They integrate well. So that we are talking about, you can apply in Google Sheets. It works perfect. Is that okay, Meshach? So in the coming sessions, we'll be seeing how these things we can be able to combine them. But at least all of us, let's give our feedback as we conclude this session. I'm going to share the assignment in the WhatsApp so that we can practice. The assignment will be more or less of creating your own table, put the columns, put the entries, use some data validation that we have learned, and at least use a function, and then share with us so that before the next session, you can be able to at least assess yourself what you learned in this session. Maybe some feedbacks as we close. I know Susie joined late, but we'll share the recording so that you can be able to catch up. I know it's something that you'll be able to follow quickly. So maybe Meshach, you can give your remarks on this today's session as we conclude, and then if there will be anyone else, will also give their opinion on what we've learned.
Okay, where the session was enjoyable,
Yeah.
but we are learning.
Yes.
But I will continue saying that everybody alikuja hapa with an aim.
Yes.
There's a maybe where somebody want to improve,
Yeah.
and we are doing this for the purposes of our business. So I think is a step in our ventures where we have invested. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Meshach. So for me, what I'm sure of at the end of this session, this end of this Excel, now you guys will have no doubt with Google Sheet because it's just an alternative. It's just an alternative, eh? So it's like they are brothers. Not that they are competing, but they are brothers. But Google Sheets is more into collaboration environment than Excel. But everything that you can do in Excel, you can still do it in a Google Sheets. But if you want to develop, especially for organization, they usually have licenses for these things. So you can now you learn these things so that when you acquire Microsoft 365 licensing, you can share, collaborate. But Excel has more features that are easily accessible than Google Sheets. More features in terms of features, but in terms of shareability, Google Sheet is the best. Is there anyone who is left with any remark as we conclude? Anything about today's session? Sharon?
There is nothing I can add.
Mm,
Thank you for today's session.
sawa. So I'll share the recording so that we can be able to practice, and then in case of any doubts, you raise them even before the next session we have on Thursday. So on Thursday we'll be building on top of this from the program that we shared with you, Comprehensive Digital Skills. So we are just following that program. So you can go and check what are we learning in the next session. But we are going to follow that step by step, applying with business scenarios. You see how learning with business scenario is good. Rather than me telling you that if you want to enter data, enter like this. That is, but when we go with a case study, it will help us even apply to our business scenarios. Otherwise, I want to take this time to say thank you for joining our today's session, and we are looking forward to meet again on Thursday on the same course so that we can be able to learn more. Thank you for joining and have a blessed evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.